वन्दे देवमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणम् वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम् वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्. Let us chant verse number 1. रत्नैकल्पितमासनं हिमजलैः स्नानं च दिव्याम्बरम् नानारत्नविभूषितं मृगमदा मोदाङ्कितं चन्दनम् जाति चम्पकबिल्वपत्ररचितं पुष्पं च धूपं तथा दीपं देवदयानिधे पशुपते हृत्कल्पितं गृह्यताम् सौवर्णे नवरत्नखण्डरचिते पात्रे घृतं पायसम् भक्ष्यं पञ्चविधं पयोदधियुतं रम्भाफलं पानकम् शाखानामयुतं जलं रुचिकरं कर्पूरखण्डोज्ज्वलम् ताम्बूलं मनसा मया विरचितं भक्त्या प्रभो स्वीकुरु. And so here we are seeing the set of 5 verses of Shiva Manasa Puja, in which there is a inviting the infinite, offering a throne, gem-studded throne, and then the different forms of expression of our devotion to the divine. It is in giving that you express your love, not in taking. Even though we are very selfish, we are going to ask him a number of things afterwards. But now we are in a giving mode. And therefore the first verse is about making different ritualistic offerings. And what are they? Well, they begin with this, with the asanam, the seat, the throne, and then water for the wash. And here the initial steps are not mentioned. This puja is indicatory. It indicates what is intended, we need to understand. And therefore washing of the feet, the hands, the mouth, the bath, complete bathing of the form. With which waters? Waters from the Himalayas, from his own abode. And we saw beautifully multiple studded, embellished clothes which have gems, precious gems studded in it, clothes studded with precious gems we offer. And then we offer the chandanam, the sandal. And then what? Then all these varieties of flowers and the bilva tree, the bilva leaves. After that came showing of the incense, and then the flame, dhupam and deepam. These were seen in the first verse, in which the main steps, the 4 elements have been included. And because there is bathing, we must know it is not a 5-step worship. This could be a 10-step or more. And so in the second verse, we have a very important step, something that is the dearest to us in our lives for many people. What is dearest to you, if you ask? Well, one thing will be that which satiates your tongue, that which satisfies my tongue. There are people who are so committed to the tongue that every hour, if they don't put something in the mouth, they become depressed. That's why sometimes obesity comes from overeating, comes from depression. Obesity due to depression, we hear of this. My point is, what is dearest to us is food. And therefore, celebration is indicated when you have, elaborate food, variety of food indicates celebration. In the temples, old ancient temples, royal temples in India, they had 64 different types of food they will offer every day to the Lord. Even today, it's called Chappan Bhog. In North India, you see this. 64 different types of foods, 54 types of food, and so elaborate offering of food. To show what? All the tastes are brought into the variety of foods. And so in this second verse we have Sauvarne Navaratna Khanda Rachite. Sauvarne, in a patre, in a vessel, what kind of vessel? In a gold vessel. When you offer the Lord, you don't use mud pot there. You use your royal, remember? You have all the wealth. It's all coming from your own heart and soul, and therefore you use huge golden vessel. And what else is special about this vessel? It is studded with the 9 gems. Navani Ratnani, 9 gems. Navaratnasya Khandam. So, Navaratna Khandena Rachitam Patram. So, this 9 precious gems, Navaratna, studded with pieces of 9 gems. What is so special about 9 gems? It is very special. These 9 gems are specific gems which are associated with the 9 planets. And so we have, the diamond. Diamond is associated with Venus. Ruby is associated with the sun. Emerald is associated with Mercury. The yellow sapphire is associated with Jupiter. The garnet is associated with Rahu. Blue sapphire is associated with Saturn. And the pearl is associated with the moon. And the cat's eye is associated with Ketu. And coral is associated with Mars. And so these 9 gems are associated with the 7 + 2, 9 planets. And so like the 5 elements were signified in one's acknowledging the power of the divine, in the presence of the divine, so too a vessel studded with 9 gems means all the constellations, all the planets are represented here. And in that, what have you put? Well, we have put Ghritam, Payasam, Panchavidam, Bhakshyam, Payodadhiyutam. So what you have there is Ghritam. Ghritam is ghee, clarified butter, which is considered to be a symbolic of purity. A clarified butter is a purifying agent, religious purification. Like water purifies, clarified butter called ghee is symbolic of religious purification. And therefore Ghritam, Payasam, Payasam is a special preparation with milk, made with milk and rice and so on. And jaggery, this is called sweetened milk. And Panchavidham Bhakshyam, 5 types of foods, Payodadhiyutam, and which is mixed with milk and curd. Milk and curd. And Rambha Phalam, the plantain, the banana. Panakam. Panakam is a very special drink which we have in South India. It's made with jaggery and ginger powder and black pepper and cardamom powder, a little bit of edible camphor, a little salt. Well, this drink is, in summer, you get this panakam and then you just keep drinking. It's so cooling and tasty. Well, panakam is also used as prasadam, it's tirtham. It's taken, it's offered to the Lord. Shaka namayutam, and lots of vegetables. So lots of vegetables. Shaka is vegetables. And ruchikaram jalam, water which is tasty, sweet, tasty, fresh water. All this is the next ritual, the 5th one. Remember, the 5th one, which is representative of the element of water, the 5th element. And this whole elaborate Naivedyam, what we call Naivedyam, is offered to the Lord. And then what? And finally, in a plate, Tambulam. Tambulam is the betel leaves, betel leaf, and then you put betel nut and so on. And that with Karpuram. Karpuram refers to camphor. The camphor tree, I don't know if you have ever seen a camphor tree. Well, if you haven't, then you're one more reason to come to Uttarkashi Ashram, because we have a beautiful camphor tree right at the entrance of the ashram, inside the ashram, of course. And the leaves, if you smell those leaves, they are so beautiful, divine fragrance you get. And so this camphor, we have, with camphor light, we show the presence of the Lord. Camphor is very symbolic in the prayer worship. Camphor light is very symbolic because in camphor is that element which is a very interesting element. Unlike why we don't offer candlelight, why we don't offer any other light other than camphor light to see the form, any form of the divine, it's because in candlelight, even when the candle burns, when the candle light is over, you find the wax still remains. There is something that remains there. You have shown, you have seen the presence of the Lord in that altar with this fire, with this light. But if it is camphor light, camphor is that element when it burns itself to reveal the face of the Lord or presence of the lingam. And then what happens when you go, once you see that face, and then you go to look for that camphor, the camphor has self-annihilated. It melts down. It doesn't exist anymore. So that which was needed to see the face of the Lord, itself dissolves itself in the sight of the divine. And so camphor light is used to represent self-annihilation or annihilation of one's ego in seeing the divine. You know, in old temples in India, when you go into the temples, when you come from the outer, come into the temple from the outer gates, huge stone monumental temples these are with great structures. And many concentric circles you have to cross each one to go in. And you find as you go inner and inner and inner into the temple, towards the sanctorum, it gets darker and darker and darker. It's so dark. By the time you are ready to enter the sanctum sanctorum where the image of the Lord is there, you can't see a thing. Many a time you have to literally, feel the wall and slowly enter, because eyes open, eyes closed is the same. And all you know is you have reached the sanctum because there is a small light in the sanctum that is burning. And what is it lighting up? It's only lighting up these diamonds, these jewels, the ornamentation of the form of the Lord. The form of the Lord is in black stone, granite stone, but it is embellished with ornaments, and all you can see is that glow. And you know, well, it is here somewhere is the form, until the priest takes a camphor and uses that light to light this camphor, and in the camphor light he shows you the entire form of that idol, form of that Lord. Whether he is Mahavishnu or Lord Krishna or Lord Shiva, you suddenly see the whole form shown by this priest through the camphor light, and suddenly it's over, back in darkness. And this particular ritual is considered very, very sacred, very important. The most important and the concluding ritual in a temple is to see the Lord in camphor light. And so, why is it so important? Because I saw the divine, and in the process the ego had a meltdown. And so the camphor represents that meltdown. And how did you see the Lord? Well, not without a guru, not without a spiritual guide. And in fact, that priest who shows you the face of the Lord, he represents a guru. He plays the role of a guru in revealing the Lord. And where are you? You are this little camphor that's going to have self-annihilation as the divinity is seen by you. They're very, very beautiful, and so karpura khandojwalam tambulam. And this offering, O Lord, maya virachitam, this has been created by me, all this golden vessel with these 9 gems, precious gems, representing all the planets. This is created by me, and all the foods I have kept. And in offering this to you and seeing you in the camphor light, what? Comes my devotion. Bhaktya, with devotion I do this. Swikaru, Prabhu, O Lord, Prabhu, please accept my expression of devotion. And with this, we have really 16 steps are complete. 16 steps are complete, and what else is left to do now? Well, now we attempt to move to 64 steps. This is a very preposterous attempt in meditation, because 64 steps to do in the physical world a puja, you require to be available round the clock. The 3 sandhya, the 3 dawn, dusk and noon and the night prayers makes it 64 steps. How are you going to cover 64? Let us see what is being done in 64 steps. And so the 3rd verse says, Chhatram chamarayor yugam vyajanakam cha. Chhatram chamarayor yugam vyajanakam cha. Adarshakam nirmalam. Adarshakam nirmalam. Veena bheri mridanga kahalakala. Veena bheri mridanga kahalakala. Geetam cha nrityam tatha. Geetam cha nrityam tatha. Sashtangam pranatistutir bahuvidha. Sashtangam pranatistutir bahuvidha. Hyetat samastam maya. Hyetat samastam maya. Sankalpena samarpitam tava vibhu. Sankalpena samarpitam tava vibhu. Pujam grahana Prabhu. Pujam grahana Prabhu. Another beautiful verse expressing one's devotion through the ritualistic offerings to the Lord. And so entering into the 64 steps, we have additional offerings. The first one being Chhatram, an umbrella, and Vyajanakam, the 2 fans made with this bushy tails of the yak. Chamarayor yugam. So this fan, the 2 side fans and this umbrella. You may wonder, why are we putting an umbrella there? Why are we putting these fans there? Is it very hot? Does the infinite need to be protected from the heat of the sun? Or is it going to be raining that you need the umbrella? This is where I say, we must have enough intelligence to know where to use this logical mind and where to move with the heart. Remember, you have both right brain and left brain. You need to know which one to use when. When I am sitting in the script of a devotee, engaging in a relationship with the infinite being whom I have invited, my offerings are an expression of my love, then that is precisely when you allow your heart to open up and let this head simply follow the heart. Why? Well, that is called the language of love, is it not? When you love someone and you want to relate to that someone, do you use your logical mind? Is there any logic in one's love? Should there be logic in one's love? Once you declare that this is my bonding with the divine, and therefore it has its own process of expression led by the heart, behind which follows the head. And therefore, why do you need the head? Because there is a sequence in the whole thing. And so the umbrella that we are talking about is not a mere 6 foot wide umbrella, 6 feet wide umbrella. This is a majestic canopy to this amazing, royal, divine, precious gem-studded throne. It's a royal canopy to that. And therefore it is how even the kings had thrones with this kind of a canopy. What to talk of presenting a canopy like an umbrella to your altar. And on two sides stand this majestic two chamaras, these fans, huge fans, not your little Japanese fan. These huge fans that blow gentle breeze held by two attendants. Well, this is an expression of the prayers that are to follow. It's a bhavana, understand? An attitude. Yugma, yugam, two small fans made of the bushy tail of the yak. And nirmalam adarshakam. And in this posture, when this infinite sits on the throne, is really worth seeing the majesty, the glory, the absolutely astounding presence. And so what you do in your love of the divine, you show him himself by presenting a mirror. Look, this is how I have decorated you. Look how wonderful you are, how majestic you are. And therefore the bhavana in showing a mirror is another ritual. So nirmalam, pure, clean, pure mirror, nirmalam adarshakam. And then what? Well, then comes not just a simple prayer. I have brought a whole retinue. I have brought things which I love for myself. And what is that? A lot of musical instruments and singing and dancing in praise of thee, O divine being. And therefore veena bheri mridanga kakala kala geetam cha nrityam tatha. So nrityam is the dance forms, geetam is the songs, and accompanied by what? Accompanied by the beautiful sounds of different musical instruments. And these musical instruments are veena, the string instrument, the drums, bheri, mridanga, different types of kahala. They are different types of drums and string instruments. Why are they all there? Well, they are accompanying the singing and the dance of the divine. So these are my offerings to you, and apart from this kind of a praise, then what? Then we will see, finally, after all the music and dance and accompaniments, there is a final Sashtanga Namaskara, the eightfold Namaskara to the divine, which I have mentioned elsewhere. So, Urasa, Shirasa, Chaiva, Manasa, Vapusha, Gira, Padbhyam, Karabhyam, Janubhyam, Ashtanga, Uchyate. So, Namaskaraha, Ashtanga, Uchyate. The Namaskara is with the 8 limbs of the body and Sashtanga Pranatihi. He says, I prostrate to you completely. All the way is my salutations to you. So, praising your great glory, Bahuda Stutihi, and all this is being given to you. How? Mentally, O Lord. Please accept my mental prayers. And so, an attempt is made to complete the rituals so that it becomes as complete as invoking the Lord in a temple. But it is not enough, because it is done only once, right? And therefore, a very powerful verse comes next. Verse number 4, where you find a way to surrender your ego to the infinite, like that camphor burning itself out, not leaving any residue whatsoever, no residue, nothing is left behind in the vision of the Lord. Every cell of an ego goes through annihilation, self-destruction. And so verse number 4 is my most beautiful verse I love about this Shiva Manasa Puja. It's a culmination of your worship to the Lord when you can arrive at verse 4 in your heart and soul. And what that verse is going to say, we will look at in detail tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.